Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. I got a few updates for you today in regards to DC, Marvel, and some Zack Snyder stuff. So let's get right into it. The first topic of the day is Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder apparently went somewhere. This is coming from Instagram, Jared, Red Studios Hollywood. Awesome having Zack Snyder over today to stage 4 to test a few tweaks to his custom GDU DSMC2 rig. This dude is such a rock star. Hashtag Zack Snyder. Global Dynamics United R3D. I don't know what any of those means, but he's holding up, looks like a portable camera and getting ready to shoot. Possibly, I don't know, but maybe using this camera for his horse latitudes. Like he's packing all his equipment together, what he's gonna shoot with, he's gonna take with him, and they're gonna go over to South America and start shooting this horse latitudes movie. So I'm thinking that's why that is, but also wondering, is this a different lenses? Of course maybe it's a different camera. I don't know anything about cameras. He could still be using that dream lens that he used for Army of the Dead and the nightmare scenes for Zack Snyder's Justice League, which look really awesome. He even used it for that, Lexus commercial or that car commercial with Kate Hudson. And it still looks fantastic. I really love that lens. And I don't know if he will use for that, but he could probably mount it to this camera and that would be cool. So let's see what he actually utilizes for horse latitudes. All right, speaking of Zack Snyder, Amazon bestsellers number 1 and number 2 is Zack Snyder's Justice League Trilogy and Zack Snyder's Justice League 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. What? The box sets, with number 1, number 2, it's still pre-ordered. It's still in pre-order phase. And you didn't even notice Zack Snyder's Justice League, for the second item, it actually went down. It was like $49.99. Everybody's like, what? You can get it so much cheaper over at UK. So I guess they dropped down the price to $30.99. If you guys want to check it out, I'll both of these comment pinned down below. Let's get into a little bit more Zack Snyder. Actress Jamie Chung says Zack Snyder shot enough extra material from Sucker Punch that each scene could be extended by 10 minutes. What? That's long. I don't know if she means the assembly cut or whatever. But this is what she said when the Hollywood Reporter interview says that they really enjoyed Sucker Punch, and she said, oh wow, that's wonderful. They asked, and lately there's been a lot of talk about Zack Snyder's director's cut. Well, I'm sure it's longer. What would that look like in your estimation? So Jamie Chung says, oh man, I do know that if Zack had it his way, it wouldn't be such fictional, monstrous characters. The theatrical cut is PG-13, but it feels like such an R-rated movie. And I think that's one of the reasons why they altered the story. It's been so long, but there would have been a lot more detail. Each scene would have been extended by 10 minutes. Laughs. We shot the hell out of that movie, and it was so fun. My character was the pilot, but I do know that the fighting sequences were much longer. Gosh, it felt like we trained so long for them. That whole experience in itself was 6 months, so there's got to be more out there. So there you go. More for the Release the Snyder Punch fans out there. Let's go get it. I would love to see an extended version of Sucker Punch. She's also in Twilight of the Gods, the new animated series being produced by Zack Snyder and directed by Jay Oliva. So they asked her this, and you and Zack just reunited for Netflix animated series Twilight of the Gods. Have you recorded your parts yet? Yeah, for the Norse mythology. I did, she did, and it was so lovely playing with him. It was such a different take on the character. Hell, so I was so honored that he would reach out and hire me for this because it's nothing like I've ever done before. And it was really fun to go very dark for this role. What a delight. And animation has no limits, right? So it's really fun to see his interpretation of this character. I cannot wait to see the final product after he explained how the visuals of this show are going to be made. So it was very fun. And I have finished recording all of my scenes and episodes. By the way, if you want to know just a little bit more about Twilight of the Gods, click right up here. I have my genre, etc. video just right for you. All right, well, let's go over to another side of a different universe, and that is Spider-Man. Spider-Man has got a new look. So apparently this was, I guess it's leaked out, but it's based on, it's because of the toys that are coming out. This is apparently Spider-Man No Way Home's new look. Yeah, it's very similar to what he wore like in Infinity War and Endgame, and maybe a little bit less, I guess a little more material and rather than an armor, but it does look very similar to that, and even in the last Spider-Man movie. And there's a little bit more to this as well. We got some of these Lego toys that have been shown online, and it's No Way Home, but all of these, as you know, are actually inspired by, like it says right here, inspired by Far From Home and inspired by Homecoming. So you do get to see the Valkyrie. So it doesn't mean that Valkyrie is going to be in the movie. He probably will be. Maybe they'll show him. Mysterio, probably not in the movie, but maybe they'll show a little bit of it. These parts are the inspiration parts of it, but this is the one that's probably actually from the movie No Way Home. Interesting enough, Wong is back. Wong is back, and he has hair. Unless they couldn't do bald cap or something. But he's bald. He's like me, So, but he does. It almost looks like he has like an afro or something. He's got actually hair on that head of his. So that's interesting. But it's great to see Wong back. Doctor Strange is going to be involved as well. So there you have it. This is Spider-Man No Way Home. This is your first, I guess. And these Lego sets sometimes don't actually equate to an actual scene in the movie, but sometimes they actually do. So this may actually be in the movie. I don't know. It looks like he's fighting. What is this? Is that Scorpion? I mean, is it? I can't tell, but it kind of looks like it. But I guess we'll have to find out when the movie comes out. No sign yet of Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield Spider-Man at all. But maybe when we get closer, we'll finally get to see that. All right, let's get into some DC now. James Gunn's The Suicide Squad is one of the most exciting releases of 2021. We went to the movie set to talk with James Gunn, Margot Robbie, and more about the filming the anti-hero team up. Here's their exclusive new report. This is coming from Total Film. I'm going to read a few excerpts of this just to get you an idea of the location, a little bit of the mindset, Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn's mindset, and a little bit more about one of the characters I'm really curious about, which is Polka Dot Man. I'm like, who is this guy and what is his powers? So this is about the setting. Welcome to Corto Maltese. This unlikely piece of South American soil in the United States is Corto Maltese, a fictional island nation off the coast of Argentina. We're here because government agent Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis, has dispatched the inmates of Belle Reve prison on another top-secret mission for Task Force X. There's recently been a military coup, explains producer Peter Safran, and on Corto Maltese, there's a prison medical experiment building called Jotunheim. Amanda Waller is sending the Suicide Squad into Corto Maltese to destroy Jotunheim before the leaders of the military coup discover the secrets that are inside there. That's the mission. What are the secrets inside there? I'm going to have to believe it's extraterrestrial in nature because there's a giant starfish that comes out towards the end of the film. That's my guess, and that's probably how it's going to be. They talked a little bit more about the roll call for these certain characters, which I'm going to call it Team B, because I know Team A, there's a whole bunch, Captain Boomerang, Javelin, all these characters that I don't think are maybe going to not make it through the movie. And maybe the main role, the main cast that actually makes it towards the end is Peacemaker, played by John Cena, Bloodsport, played by Idris Elba, Ratcatcher 2 by Daniela Melchior, and also the Polka Dot Man, and including Harley Quinn as well. So that's who I think is going to be the main focus, and Rick Flag as well. Also, the Steve Agee was also present on set to play the squad guy King Shark. Of course, he's gonna be actually voiced by Sylvester Stallone. And this is coming from Margot Robbie in regards to Harley Quinn. Something I noticed about Harley from the start is she's always going to have more fun when she's in a group dynamic. I've always said putting Harley on her own would be like putting a kid on a playground on their own. It's never going to be as fun as when it's populated with other kids to play with. And when she's in a group, you're always going to see the most come out of her personality because she's got people to play with and pick apart or fall in love with or backstab or whatever. She's always decided how she feels about the people around her and then acts accordingly, which is always unpredictable. And that gives you a little sense of what her ideas about making all these different Harley Quinn movies. Like it almost says like when she's going to make another Harley Quinn movie, it's not just going to be Harley Quinn. She understands that Harley Quinn or at least she thinks that Harley Quinn can't have her own movie, and that's why she's in the first Suicide Squad, and that's why it's Harley Quinn. It's called Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. It's not just Harley Quinn, and then she meets, it needs a team. So that almost makes me think that the next movie is absolutely going to be something like Gotham City Sirens, for instance. She's not going to be by herself. It's either going to be another Suicide Squad, or she's actually joining a couple other people like Catwoman and Poison Ivy and make the Gotham City Sirens. So for her, she understands that Harley Quinn's character needs a team. Needs a team. So, and that works out for her. James Gunn had a little bit to talk about his Suicide Squad heroes. He says that he loves the original John Ostrander run on Suicide Squad, where the very simple concept is a bunch of B grade, C grade, Z grade supervillains who are bunched up because they are considered expendable. I think that's at the center of what this movie is. It is a military caper film, which is a genre that was very popular in the 60s with movies like The Dirty Dozen, where Eagles Dare and Kelly's Heroes, and that has largely disappeared from screens today. To be able to create that type of story with folks wearing goofy costumes has been a blast, and they don't get any goofier than Polka Dot Man. Who the heck is Polka Dot Man? A long-standing DC bad guy who made his comic book debut in the 60s, has the ability to throw energy-filled polka dots at his enemies. I guess it's kind of like Gambit with the cards, so they do explode. The multi-million-dollar question is, how does one of the weirdest supervillains in history find his way into a mega-budget Hollywood movie? James Gunn says this: Polka Dot Man is great, but I think I needed a character who's thought of as one of the dumbest ever. So I went and looked online, who's the dumbest DC character of all time, and it was Polka Dot Man. We've turned that character who's a sad, pathetic character into a character who's depressed because people think he's stupid. He has a very tragic story that you learn throughout the film. To be able to add depth to characters who are thought of as the silliest is a fun thing for me to do. I can tell you that my character Abner is someone who has lived a lifetime with a lot of pain, a lot of shame, and a lot of solitude because of a condition that he has, explains David Dastmalchian, the Ant-Man star playing Polka Dot Man on screen. That condition was something that he decided at a certain point in time would be best suited to hurt other people, or at least perform acts of crime, so that he could get some vengeance against a cruel and unfair world. Things haven't gone great in Abner's life basically since day one, so as we find him entering this story, he's somebody that has never been part of anything, so even if a bunch of really broken misfits and criminals, he's maybe found one of the first moments in his life where he's part of something. Interesting. So I'm wondering, because he's the most silliest, most crazy, dumbest DC villain, he's actually going to be put on, he's actually going to be like the wild card of this movie, right? The one you don't think that will save the day. I think maybe he may actually save the day. I mean, I'm just taking a guess. It seems like that the dumbest, the one that you don't think can actually do anything much, becomes the wild card for the team. I don't know. That's my guess in any case. Let's get into some members' comments now. I only got two. Danny Gray, with the time travel being a part of the Flash movie, I really think Batfleck will return in his nightmare form for a big battle third act. I think that makes the most sense, but who is the villain that requires the Flash, two Batman, and a Kryptonian defeat? That's a very good question. Who could be the villain possible to that they need to defeat? And I'm wondering, and so like other people are wondering, is there a villain at all? Maybe the whole villain thing is that they're trying to save the multiverse. Things are happening, the Flash messed up, and maybe the Burtonverse is going to explode. And this is my theory, is that because the Burtonverse is going to explode, I think that's why they both end up, Sasha Calle Supergirl and Michael Keaton's Batman ends up in the regular DCU, because their world is gone. And I think maybe that could be the case. And the only villain, the one that the Flash has to catch up to stop, may be himself. Eric Blake, Chris, it's looking like Sasha, Supergirl, after Barry, etc., save her, and so on, will be brought by Barry to the DCU Earth so she can have a better home and someone to guide her. Maybe helping save her leads to Captain Bat being rendered a fugitive, hence him needing to leave his Earth as well. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, exactly. So I think that's what's going to happen. That's why they're in the DCEU. They get pulled into that world. And it's kind of cool to have Sasha, Supergirl. She's saying she's never alone. And maybe that, in a way, compels Barry to introduce her to Henry Cavill Superman. So hopefully Henry Cavill Superman actually does show up. That would be great. Well, that is it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you absolutely love this daily dose of entertainment news and content, please click the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that notification bell, keep this hot dog light on, and I'll see you next time. Bye.